I already planned on reviewing this album for a few months, but the passing of the legend makes it all the more personal, so let's do it. Welcome to A Rundown Does Music, where today we're looking at the country legend Toby Keith's 7th studio album and arguably his biggest, Unleashed. We all know by now that Toby unfortunately passed away earlier this year, so before this review starts, I do want to say that when it comes to reviewing music by those who have since left us, I still look at the music in a critical sense. The review process covers the music itself, so if I give an album a negative review, not saying I'm doing so today, but if I do, just know it's not meant to be a slight against the artists themselves after passing, it's just literally about the music. Getting into things here, this album was the one that really launched Toby Keith into further popularity despite previous albums still performing well and standing out as platinum certified. It was this album with such popular songs like Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue that brought him to the corners of both country music that he hadn't touched yet and into the mainstream corners of music as well. I want to open up by talking about the initial criticism that some people give this album as well to Toby as well as Toby in general, and that's the fact that this music at this point in his career is largely associated with the rampant ruining of country music post 9/11, with over-the-top patriotism and a general boring, centric take on country music that largely affected any and all of it, even going as far as into the mid-2010s. There's a tinge of this on the album, the overly patriotic, again, post 9/11 country music with Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, serving as, at its core, a song saying, hey, you hit us hard, we're coming roaring back because we're American, we're pissed off, Uncle Sam's gonna ring that bell. Don't get me wrong, yeah, fuck those guys who did that big time, those specific people, not the religion or the class of people as a whole. But because this song was used as a general fuck you to the people who did it directly, as well as unfortunately being used as a weapon by the fan base of Toby and country fans in general to just be pissed off at Muslims and Middle Eastern people as a whole. While not Toby's intention, obviously the song does get that negative connotation all the same and does serve its part as part of post 9/11 overly American songwriting. The song itself, however, is a relatively safe and honestly solid song in terms of getting across the message that it wants to. We gotta stand together, and we will by the grace of this here flag. I'm not one for patriotism, admittedly, that's a story for another time, but I can look at a track like this and say, yeah, it's getting the job done. America, yeah, hello, type deal. Speaking of things that are done really well on Unleashed, Toby Keith has an eye for nailing the signature style he's developed over the years in albums, being enjoyable and confident music rooted in simplistic themes and stories. It's All Good, for example, is just a song reflecting on the ever-changing world around him and how he's fine. All good, in fact, just sitting with this girl and letting everything rush and tumble past them as they enjoy their own little slice of heaven, in one of the many examples throughout his career of some good old, typical, chilled country mannerisms. Huckleberry is another really simple and enjoyable country song with some floaty guitar keeping the pace as Toby sings about a childhood love with some nice little rhymes, such as in the chorus with "You're so extraordinary, sweet like maraschino cherries." A love song is hard to screw up, and while most country songs tend to lean on now and even somewhat at the time stereotypical concepts, such as sharing a beer under the bleachers, and some other overused settings, this track chooses to quickly go over multiple places and times, and the lines themselves lend themselves to a very general vibe and feeling, as opposed to keeping things tight to the genre and stereotypes. The most popular song on this album is of course the collaboration with Willie Nelson, being Beer for My Horses, and it's yet another pretty simple song with a catchy and easy to sing along to chorus and verses, talking about taking the law into your own hands and going after bad people, as Willie Nelson sings about how back in the days of his dad's day, it was essentially pure Western justice, hanging them from a tree. A lot of people, both fans of Toby and otherwise, misconstrue this as direct reference to the lynching of African American people, possibly given the relative time in which Willie's dad would have done this sort of thing and even the time still there when the song came out. But I highly doubt that's the intention at all, seeing as though hanging was a punishment employed by, just within America, Puritans to religious betrayers within their own colonies, Native Americans throughout the 16th, 17th, 18th, and probably more centuries, and many other cultures around the world. It is true that a lot of racial hanging and lynching was done during the 1900s, but I doubt that that's the intention here. This song is built in a sort of almost ballady way, though, giving an arena-ready vibe that you just can't help but memorize the lyrics and sing along to, with the undeniable energy of both Willie Nelson and Toby Keith giving the track not just character, but poignant passion for their beliefs here in the song. Overall, the album is an enjoyable, easy to digest piece of country music that doesn't go too far into any certain topic and remains at its core, well, core to the genre. There is the introduction song that gives us patriotic vibes and power, but it doesn't go much beyond that in terms of that path, with the album as a whole covering childhood love, desires for justice in different ways, and moving out for yourself and making a life for yourself as you go. It's all basic ideals that, if we were to attributes it to anything, speaks volumes to values of the American dream and what we all really want. An easy life filled with love and what makes us happy. The album doesn't revolutionize the genre, nor does it impose upon it. It simply stands as a good album within it. So, for those reasons, Unleashed by Toby Keith gets a 7.2 out of 10. And that's the review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. You a Toby fan? You a country fan? Do you fucking hate either one? Let's talk about it. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you're staying hydrated. I'll see you next time.